And yeah, you can take it away. Have at her.
No problem. Thank you very much. Yeah, you nailed it. I mean, there's not a whole lot about me, really. I mean, I guess there's a lot about everybody, but that's me in a nutshell. So I've been in the business for 2 years and just hit last month the All-Star 5 as well, legend. And other than that, yeah, pretty much it. So what I'm going to talk about is vulnerability and authenticity. So let me get my slides up. I did a few. It's not a lot of slides, but that's good because I do tend to talk. So
are you able to share your slides, or do you need me to make you the presenter?
I think I can. Let's see now.
Perfect.
Good?
Yeah, you betcha.
All right. All right, so yeah, this is the topic tonight and why it's important for your business. So I know this isn't really any kind of a topic that's like leading into, that summit push and stuff like that, but it's still something I think that's really important that should be ongoing anyways, especially with you guys talking about Casey having a sneak peek coming up and all this kind of stuff. It makes it so much easier to invite to your business and grow your team and have your actual tribe that you want when you are vulnerable and authentic, right, to who you are. So connection is the biggest thing. This is why we do what we do. It's why we're here, why we're placed on earth, to connect with other human beings and build relationships, right? I think all you guys can probably say that relationships are really important to you guys, whether it's in your family or your friends or whatever. We all need to have really good connections with people. So just think about this for a second. Like if you're part of groups online, maybe you're part of groups in person, organized sports, or some hobbies or different things like that. Maybe you volunteer. The friends that you have and the actual acquaintances that you have, are you actually connecting with them, or do you just belong to that group? Like, are you in a group on Facebook, but you're not really doing anything there? You know, you should be in there to grow your network, but you're not really, utilizing it. And are you actually initiating conversations with these people and becoming friends with them and growing your relationships with that? Because obviously with network marketing, that's what we're all about. And I think a lot of people, I don't know about your guys' team or you guys, but it's tough to branch out of that warm market. And you don't want to wait till your warm market is dried up before you start to branch out into your cold market. Like, it is such a huge mistake to wait to that point, because you need to start tapping into it while you're still working through your warm market kind of thing, right? So the F word, okay, so it's not the one that I usually say, but fear would be the biggest F word in this situation, and that's a lot of time the thing that holds us back from everything, right? Whether it's you didn't join up as a coach right away because of fear, or you're not running a group on your own, maybe, you might be kind of grouping up with other coaches or doing whatever because you fear not being approved, right, by other people, or you're not fitting in with the majority of people and what they're doing. You're not being entertaining enough. You might not feel like you're confident enough to do the thing. Maybe you're afraid of people not liking you, which used to be a huge thing for me, just always looking to be accepted by everybody, which is impossible, by the way. Maybe you feel like you're not educated enough. I know a lot of people are afraid to post things on social media because they feel like people are going to think that you think you're an expert. And we're not, we're coaches, right? We're not trained professionals and all this kind of stuff. But we need to be honest and authentic with ourselves and let people know if maybe some of you guys are nutritionists or you are personal trainers. But if you're not, it's okay to be true to who you are and say, this is what I am, this is what I do. Don't get confused with what the professionals do either, right? And the training, the same thing, just be open and honest with it. And we fear not being worthy of success, which is a huge thing that I'm going to talk about a little bit more as well. So don't be afraid that you're not moving fast enough in this business either. I think a lot of people really quit this business so early on because they don't see the success rather that other people have in a short amount of time. And we all have a different story. We all come from different backgrounds. We all have different financial burdens or financial successes where we can invest in the business, which can affect your business and your growth, and just knowledge and business and everything. So stop comparing yourself to other people and how far they've gone, and don't quit. Because the biggest thing you can do is quit the business when you're just on the verge of success, or you're just on the verge of actually hitting, that turning point in your business, or that big momentum that you're waiting for to happen in your business. And I've had multiple coaches quit the business when they had everything that they needed and their posts were so great and they were hitting like Success Club like 30 at some months, which was insane. And then just totally lost their warm market because they lost momentum and they felt like giving up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like you are an amazing coach. But they're afraid that they're not going to be able to maintain it, right? They're afraid that I'm an emerald for 6 months. I should be diamond by now. So-and-so went diamond in like 20 days. How did he or she do that? So we need to stop that comparison and stop, trying to prove that you're good enough, because you are good enough, right? And so many of us think that I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not big enough and muscular enough, or I don't have that physique or that feminine body or masculine body, whatever it is, to be that cover photo of the fitness world kind of thing, right? Which is not what we're about, right? You guys know that. And the biggest thing that we have is a shame. We have shame because we fear that disconnect. We feel like we're not going to be able to connect with people, and therefore we're going to fail, right? And that is what's holding us back from actually being real people and actually having the connections that we need. And this is all connected, pardon pun there, but it's all connected. We have to be real to connect with people in order to be authentic, in order to build trust, in order to succeed in this business, right? Everything is all intertwined with each other, but it all starts right back with you and being a real person, right? You have to put yourself out there and be seen, but you have to be transparent. You have to be truthful. You have to stick to who you are. You can't flip-flop and, compare yourself to somebody else and think you're going to do that and then flip-flop and then try to be like some other coach. And then people see that and they're immediately going to drop you. They're immediately going to lose trust and respect for you. They're going to wonder what your mission is, what your motives are, all that kind of stuff. So you need to be vulnerable. You need to put yourself out there. And I mean, like, dig deep, get the stuff that you are like sick to your stomach about sharing. It doesn't have to be every nitty gritty detail, guys. Like, you don't have to put every single thing out there, but enough to breadcrumb so that people can feel like they can relate to you, and then they can kind of inbox you and get started on that conversation. A lot of times I don't get a lot of comments on my posts and engagement. I'll get a lot of likes. I will message those people who like my post. You know how lazy we are nowadays, where I see so many people when I watch other people, like when I'm around other people, I'm like studying social media. So I see what they do on their phones. I'm watching them as they're scrolling through Facebook. I'm seeing what they're stopping and clicking like on, what they're scrolling on past, right? This is all like research for me. And I see my friends and stuff and what kind of pictures are scrolling through, or what kind of pictures are scroll stoppers and different things like that. And I try to use that and use it in my business. And people are so lazy. Like, they'll actually say, oh my gosh, this is awesome, good for her. And they don't click like or comment. And I'm like, the coach in me is like, say something, like support her for God's sakes. Like, she's putting her heart and soul out there. But then my friend doesn't want to put herself out there by commenting on this post or liking it and making other people see, because that my friend lacks confidence, right? So liking this post that might be a little non-mainstream is making her stand out, and therefore she doesn't even want to comment on this post or like it. So if you are not getting a ton of likes and engagement on your posts, it's okay. You could still have a lot of engagement in your inbox, which to me is even more important, right? As long as you are having connections, whether it's behind the scenes or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you're having conversations and connections constantly, right? So remember that you are worthy. You guys are worthy of love and belonging, to your families, to your friendships, to everything. But people who are worthy of something, they believe in themselves. They believe in themselves and their capabilities of doing what it is they set out to do. And we all have different goals. We all have different visions of what success will be for us. But these people who do succeed, they are worthy of making strong connections with people. And they believe that. So therefore, they do make strong connections with people. If you think that you're not worthy of having solid friendships, if you feel like you're not worthy of having a kick-ass tribe team of strong women or strong men, then it's not going to happen for you, right? You have to visualize it, and you have to believe it, and you have to believe you're worthy of actually having that success, because you are. And have the courage to be authentic, have that courage to Be yourself, right? Be unapologetically you and embrace that and embrace your flaws. Allow yourself to be imperfect, right? And like those things about yourself that are different, because there's so many people that almost wish there was something different about them to share with people to make themselves stand out. Fitting in and being like everybody else is not desired anymore, right? Being unique is. And you'll even find trends in that. You'll find people starting to stand out, but then everybody else stands out too. So then what's cool is then being the opposite of that. It's so funny. You see people who started with tattoos, for example, and now everybody has tattoos. So then people almost pride themselves on not having tattoos. Like, it's just crazy how these trends come and go, and that struggle to try to stand out and be unique. But whatever it is you are, just embrace that for what it is, what you are, and run with it. Run with it. Brand yourself on what you are and go with that. So you're worthy, you're enough, you have exactly what it takes. Every single one of you guys right here, we're all very different, all very unique with all different goals, but we all have what it takes. It's just tapping into that. So who are you? I don't think Melanie or Lindsay or Bonnie's on this call. If so, then I guess you are one of these people. But chances are you guys are not Melanie, you're not Lindsay, you're not Bonnie, right? And that's okay. That's totally fine. We don't need more of these people. We need more of you and different kinds of people like this, right? So let go of who that you think that you should be. I know there's some males on this call who are like, I don't want to be a woman, or at least I don't think you do. But let go of who you think you should be, okay? Maybe it's Scotty, maybe it's Miguel, maybe it's whoever, like Jamie, right? But just let go of who it is you think you should be, and don't compare yourself to their success or their stories. Make sure you focus and identify yours the best. If you are focusing on who you think you should be, that is going to stop you right in your tracks. You will stop growing. You're going to hinder your growth in your business. Your personal development, you better be doing a ton of it. Because if you start comparing yourself, you're really in for a rough ride on this roller coaster, which is already really difficult if you're maxing out your personal development, right? So be authentically you. Believe in what makes you vulnerable. Believe what makes you vulnerable also makes you beautiful, right? So embrace those flaws, embrace those things about your journey, those struggles, those dips in the roller coaster, all those things, and utilize that to connect with more people. Because there are so many people out here who don't relate with the stories that are perfection, right? They don't relate with a perfect life. They don't relate with you having all the time in the world to do the things. I struggle personally with relating with people who are busy, because people see me working at home doing the business full time, and I'll take shift work here and there, but I can fit it in when I want to. And it's difficult to relate with busy people because they don't see me as busy, even though I fill my days with things. Obviously, we're all busy, right? So again, whatever it is for you, make sure you embrace that. So success is whatever you define it to be. It's the accomplishment of whatever your aim or purpose is, okay? Success is not looking like these people, having the same story as these people. You might still have that and still have success, but it's totally up to you to define what that is, okay? There's some chats. Should I be paying attention? No. Okay, good. I'll close that out. Okay, so let me go back, make sure I didn't miss anything there. Perfect. All right, so vulnerability, that is your key to trust. And like I said before, it all ties into each other. You have to build trust in this business. It is a people business. Like, you have to build connections. Without that, we have nothing, right? We're just pushing product on people, and you're going to have a bazillion times more no's than we already get, because you're not even letting them know that you're a trustworthy person that you can actually come to for questions or advice or support, or to buy a product of, right? You know what I mean? So vulnerability gives you creativity. When you are a vulnerable person, it gives you so many more avenues to talk about your story and share your story. But don't throw up in words your whole story in word vomit, your whole story in one big post. Because first of all, people are not going to have time to read it all unless you're really, really good at wording and you started off with something really catchy and a really good picture. But that takes skill. I've seen some people do that really well, though. But you can breadcrumb it. You can take your story and break it down into like 16 different stories. You can go into your closet and take out a pair of pants, and that can be a post. Look at that pair of pants that you couldn't fit into, and now you can fit into, and dig up those feelings that you had when you tried them on and you couldn't fit into them, right? You have to really get creative with this and tap into all the different parts of your journey. And if you're somebody who doesn't have a weight loss journey, because I know some coaches say, well, I didn't lose a lot of weight, I lost 10 pounds, but I gained energy or the mental strength and the community, then there's still so many ways to tap into that as well, right? Talk about your relationships that you had or didn't have, the sense of belonging that you never had, or support and stuff like that in your life, right? Again, vulnerability is going to give you that belonging and love that we all long for. It's just a human thing that we all have. We all just want to feel that sense of belonging and love. Joy is going to bring joy to your days. At first, it's going to make you sick to your stomach, but then after a while, it will bring you joy. Because also along with freedom, getting your story out there that first time, there's like no way to describe the feeling when you get it off your chest. And I don't mean your first why that you put out there that you think you're tapping in and you're like, yep, I just put it all out there and now I'm scared to death. It's like the one that you still remember, the second why that you actually dig deeper and go into, and then you're like, okay, you know what, it's out there, it's done. There might have been crickets, there might have been a lot of feedback, whatever it is, it's out, and you just feel free and you can be true to yourself, right? It's just such a relief. And then what you're doing is you're being authentic to your brand because you already have this information out there floating around. Don't forget you need to repeatedly tell your story, though. I think a lot of people think they do it once and then that's it. Guys, you wouldn't believe how many people haven't seen that post. And even if you post it 6 times, they still don't see those posts. You need to be posting, which is why Casey mentioned I'm posting like consistently and regularly. And it's like, because I know there's going to be some people who see every single post, but that's okay because those are my supporters, they're my fans, they're there to support me no matter what anyways. But the people who I'm still trying to connect with, they need to see those posts. So you have to get them out there and get them out there frequently, right? So be authentic to your brand. If you have a certain struggle, maybe it's eating disorders, stay true to your brand, your niche market, whatever it is that you're, those people that you're talking to, right? And the good thing about it is that's going to give you purpose and impact when you're tapping into that niche that you really truly want to talk to. You're being passionate about what actually matters to you. And by being passionate about it and having that purpose, you guys are going to have such a huge impact on those people and their lives. So you're not talking to everybody. Because if you try to talk to everybody and try to help everybody, you're not. You're going to be like talking to a wall. There's going to be people who do not relate to you whatsoever, and they're going to just keep scrolling and it doesn't matter. So you need to make sure you're talking to the people who need you in their life and focus on them, and you're going to have a huge, huge impact on their life. So vulnerability plus authenticity is going to give you unshakable confidence, which is exactly what you want in this business. Because when you're talking to people and you're confident and you're trustworthy, that equals success. Definitely. If I can ever get into a conversation with somebody, I'll often use voice message to get my tone across, my excitement across, put things in your own words, which also makes you more authentic and genuine when you just put it in your own words as opposed to like using terminology and stuff I find from Beachbody. That's going to help you so much. So being vulnerable is going to build up your trust with people, right? But then being authentic is going to secure that trust. People are not just going to see you and be like, whoa, she's really putting herself out there. And then they start to follow you and trust you. But if you're authentic and true to your brand and you stay consistent with that, then you're going to have them locked in and they're going to be your lifers, and you need to take care of them and you need to consistently touch base with them, poke them, connect with them, keep contact with them. There will be your lifers. They're going to be your challengers. They're going to turn into amazing coaches. And the good thing is they're going to connect with you because you're targeting that niche. Therefore, they're going to be your tribe. They're so much easier to talk to. There's nothing worse than having a conversation with somebody you have nothing in common with, but you know they need health and fitness in their life, but you're like, well, how's that, whatever? And they're like, yeah, this is the most awkward conversation in the world. I hate those conversations. They're painful. So let's make it easy and target those people that want you in their life, that want to talk to you. So don't present yourself on social media in a way that you think it's going to benefit your business. So it's out of character, and you know it's out of character. You feel like you're kind of being true to yourself, but you feel like you need to spruce yourself up a little bit. And just by making that little tweak to spruce up your post or make yourself look a little different than what you truly are, what your life's not really like, you'd be amazed at how that could damper your business growth, because people are smart and they tune in and they pick up on those things. They pick up on your tone change. They pick up on if something's different from what you normally post. They're like, is this a new strategy? It just gets people's backs up and they notice that stuff. They really, really do. And they'll know that it's not authentic, right? So make sure whatever it is, don't doubt your story. Don't feel like you're not good enough. Therefore, you need to make it sound better than what it is. Your story's just fine the way it is. Okay? So this is how to be authentic. Obviously, you guys probably know this stuff. I'm not breaking, new ground here. Get to know yourself, but get to really, really know yourself. Like do like self-awareness exercises. You can go on Google. You can find a bunch of self-awareness exercises to do. Get to know your values, your feelings, what really motivates you, what inspires you, what do you want out of life? What do you want your purpose to be with coaching, right? Do you want to just help people get in shape, or are you really passionate about growing your team and changing people's lives, getting them home with their kids, being able to leave jobs they hate, having financial freedom, being able to travel for the first time maybe in their life, all these different things? Really understand what it is about yourself you like, what you want to put out to the world, what you want for your business and what you want for others. Date yourself. So go out for coffee by yourself, put your earphones in, listen to a podcast, listen to an Audible, take your notepad with you and actually write down things that trigger and connect with you. I find it's almost like when you're in the car driving and you hear that song that you love and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to put that on a playlist. But then you're like, do I screenshot it? But I'm driving, but you want to jot it down because you're going to forget it and never remember it again. You're going to be like, what was that song? That's why I love always having something to write on, because I'm a pen to paper gal. But if you are a phone person, technology, then type it into your notes section on your phone. As soon as you think of something about yourself that sticks out as important, write it down. This is huge. Unfollowing, this made a huge difference, guys. Huge difference. Casey knows where I'm going with this, yeah. Unfollow those people that you compare yourself to. And what I mean is coaches, okay? Other coaches that you compare yourself to when it comes to success, when it comes to brand. There are so many rock star coaches out there, guys, that I look at and I'm like, dang it, why can't I be sitting by a palm tree? Like I'm here in Rocky, Newfoundland and it's freezing. It's like 8 degrees and it's like 38 degrees there. And that's just not my life. It's not what it is. It's never going to be that. I'm not going to have Prosecco. I'm going to have an ice cold beer. That's just me. So you have to unfollow those people that you're comparing yourself to, and almost like, it's like you want to be them, or you want their lifestyle or whatever it is that you're seeing that you feel looks so much better than what yours looks like. But that's not the truth, right? It's just us doubting ourselves and doubting our story and not having confidence in what we have. And there's tons of people that will compare with yours, or relate to yours rather. So those people that you compare yourself to that make you feel less valuable than what you are, you need to unfollow them right away, right? You can still be friends with them, just unfollow them so you're not seeing their posts all the time. Or those people that you feel like you need to be like them more, like I said. So if you are comparing yourself to a diamond coach who went diamond in 2 weeks and you're still not diamond yet and you've been a coach for 2 years, you need to stop if that's not motivating you or inspiring your business, right? It's not helping you. It's bringing you down. But I do encourage you to follow those people, a very few, a select handful. I wouldn't recommend you to follow everybody, because otherwise you're filling up your news feed with all coaches. Therefore, you have less people to target for your actual audience too, right? For your prospects and stuff. But take a select few people that you have similarities with personality, and that they inspire you to be better, they motivate you to take action, and they get you thinking outside the box to be creative. And I don't mean they inspire you to copy and paste something. I mean, they inspire you because they're a creative person and they make you think creatively. That's it, okay? Obviously, guys, we bounce ideas off each other all the time anyways, so we might share an idea of a post. Or how often do you scroll past something and like subconsciously see a post, and then you do a post and you're like, where did I get that idea? And you see someone's post and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to copy it. But it's sometimes like you just see things and it sticks in your head, which is totally fine. Just make sure it's your brand and you're true to that. So, and yeah, just a fair warning that being vulnerable and authentic I'm not going to say may push some people away. It's going to push some people away. Okay. It's going to turn people off. Maybe some of the friends that you had for the last 5, 10 years or more will remove themselves from your life or just distance themselves because they don't understand your journey. If they're not into the Beachbody world, they don't understand. They may feel like you're in some kind of a cult, or they don't understand like what you're gaining from this and why you're wasting your time and why you're always on your phone and all these different things. So just get your story out there and remember that what you're putting out there is benefiting more people than those people that it's making uncomfortable. Because chances are the people that you're making uncomfortable are just people that wish they could be as courageous as you. They wish they had like that courage to put something like that out there and help people, right? And it's not that they don't love you and they don't support you, but you almost like make them feel insecure sometimes. And we do that without even noticing that we do it, right? We might be sharing our story with them and we're really hitting home with them, and they might have a very similar story and they're not going to like it because it's almost like you're sharing their insecurities too. But chances are those people will come back around because they're going to see you helping those people and helping them with that same journey. And then you're going to be able to help them too eventually too. But be okay with letting those people take their space, okay? Don't write them off. Don't have any hard feelings, nothing like that. I don't ever mind when somebody unfollows me. I get it. If you don't like to see multiple posts, I totally understand. We're still friends. We still talk if we bump into each other. I understand it. But my Facebook is my business, which they need to understand as well, right? You're making room for meaningful relationships that need to occur. And it's not that those friendships that you have aren't meaningful, but you can still have those friendships on Facebook that you don't need to be following each other, and you can still maintain those relationships and still chat with each other, but you need to make room in your life for people who are going to lift you up, who are going to support you, who are going to make you feel like you're making a difference, right? So get rid of the toxic people, just let them go. You don't even have to get rid of them because they are going to remove themselves anyways, right? It's just like polar opposites, what happens, but then embrace that journey. So just a few things to think about as you're sharing your vulnerability and your authenticity is stop being a people pleaser, which I spent my whole entire life doing. My whole entire life, guys. If you knew me, I thought 10 times about what I was going to say before I said it, because I would think about, I still kind of do it, even with my husband. I whisper to him and I say, don't say that. Somebody here in this restaurant might know that person. Like if he says something bad about somebody, I'm like so aware of my surroundings. It's a really tough thing to shake. But stop trying to please everybody, because you're not going to please everybody. And if you try to, you're going to feel like a disappointment, or you let yourself down, or you didn't succeed and you failed. When really, if you stop trying to please everybody and you start focusing on pleasing the people who actually need you in your life, you're going to see yourself as a huge success. Very successful. Stop being boring. And what I mean by that is those same old posts all the time that we do, that we get into those ruts. We're not creative. And guys, we all have times like that. I'm not saying I'm creative every day. What I'll do is when I'm having a good day, I will write up little posts and save it in my notes. And then I'll figure out a picture to put with it later, or I'll do whatever later and have a few stock photos and stuff like that for when I'm stuck and I'm just brain dead. But stop with the boring posts that you know deep down are not adding value at all, right? You're posting to post. You're just posting to post because you know it's been 6 hours since you put something up and oh my gosh, I need to put something up, and you throw something up. Chances are that could be the one post that your potential client or coach sees, and they could totally be disengaged from you just from that. You don't know, depending on what it is, right? So I'd rather, I don't know about you, Casey, but obviously you're training your team and you're mentoring your team, but putting it like value, you know, and good content, I think would be better than even the quantity of what you're putting out, right? The quality over quantity. And the mainstream things, the posts and stuff like that too, try to go off the path a little bit, try to be a little bit more creative, think of a different route to go, unless it's something that is, well, we have events coming up, right? So everyone's going to be talking about Summit or a Super Saturday or Sean Week or things like that. But there are still ways to go about that and do it creatively as well. So just try to think outside the box, right? And stop being unrelatable. And what I mean by that is stop trying to be perfect. When you're trying to make everything look so perfect, You're doing a couple different things. You are making clients distrust you, or potential clients distrust you, because they see you as somebody who's unrelatable because they can't do what you're doing, right? They see your house like perfectly clean every time you go live. And they're like, oh my gosh, like how is she doing that? She's getting up, she's working out, she's going to work, her house is tidy, she's got the kids running around, just so perfect all the time. It's not relatable at all. It needs to be chaos, controlled chaos, but it needs to be chaos and relatable. And also what you're doing, if you're trying to make everything look so perfect with your posts and stuff too, you're making potential coaches feel like they're not going to be as good as you. I can never do what you do because I don't know how to use these graphics on my phone. I don't know how to use these fancy apps. I don't even know, like how to access Beachbody On Demand. I don't know. But you're going to have a lot of people that are turned off by that too. So make sure you're mixing it up a little bit with some simple posts, nice, good quality photos. Obviously, guys, still quality is very, very important, but it doesn't have to be super fancy. Just make sure it's like effective, right? Taking action and making progress is better than perfection for sure, but it doesn't have to be perfect. What you're doing by doing all these things is you're depriving yourself from having true connections with people that could be exponential in your business. So imagine now, stop doing all of this stuff, start adding value, making more connections, actually talking to all the people that in the groups that you're in that are just extra groups and hobbies and stuff, and add them as friends, adding new people to your network all the time, showing them who you are, not selling them anything, just taking the time to build the relationships first, then you're going to see a huge, huge difference. So be careful with your approach. Social media has changed quite a bit in the last little while. And I've had past experience with like direct sales kind of thing. So I did use social media for that. And it used to be very different like 10 years ago, like 8 or 10 years ago when I was doing it. There wasn't as many companies on the go as there are now. It's great that we're part of an MLM because that is our future. Like that is the way to go, guys. We are in the right thing at the right time. But you need to be very careful with your approach because people are always wondering what your motive is. Why is this person messaging me, right? And you guys know what it's like. How many of you guys have ever gotten a message randomly in your inbox being like, hey, how's it going? By the way, check out my link and blah, blah, blah. Or they'll give you a big spiel and you're like, oh, no, thank you. Like I've had 10,000 friend requests and I've been added to this many groups that I didn't want to be added to. We've all been there, right? So make sure that you are connecting with people before you take that next step. So constantly being approached by MLM companies and stuff is not going to be good. So if you're sending a message to somebody, they're going to think you're just part of that as well. Like, what does this person want? Why is she just saying hi to me? Why is she messaging me? Don't make it weird and creepy. Make sure that you're building a connection. You have something in common or something to ask, or you can add value. If you see that they posted something and they're looking for an answer, don't just comment on their post. Inbox them and share a link with them that would be helpful to solve a problem that they have. And it might be non-Beachbody related. They might be asking something about travel advice. So instead of putting your little comment on their post on Facebook, which they're probably going to just click like or whatever, inbox them and say, hey, Carrie, I know you were wondering about like the best flights and what best experience I've had and the best prices. This is a website that I use to book my flights. We had a really good experience. Where are you going? Or when are you going on your trip? What are you planning on doing there? This is what we did. And start a conversation that way, right? Try to make it natural. And then don't mention Beachbody. That's another big mistake. Don't mention it too soon. Because then it's like, people know this is what you do. It's like forming and then you ask. So stop doing what they're expecting you to do because they're going to be like, oh, I thought she was actually genuinely interested in me. And then she just brought up her challenge group. So now I know the whole point of this conversation was just to invite me to a challenge group. And we don't want people to feel that way, right? So make sure you give before you take. Make sure you give and add value before you ask them to join you. But don't forget that what you're asking them to do is better their lives. So don't be afraid to do it because we're not taking their money just to take their money, right? There's nothing wrong with the exchange of what we're providing for the money. It's not a bad thing. It's not a gross thing, this whole money thing. we're providing them with a life-changing experience or an opportunity to completely change their life with the coaching opportunity. So we need to remember that we're holding the gold. We have what they want. They just don't know it yet, or they don't know that we actually have a solution to their problem yet. So it's being very careful to get in there and let them know that you can help them, right? I find by posting consistently to my Facebook, it has helped decrease my awkward conversations so much more, because it's like my Facebook wall does the work for me. So once I can get them to become a friend of mine, after having a conversation or whatever, adding them on Messenger, you can do that now with a little add-on Messenger first, and then they can see their messages, build a little bit of a relationship, and then you can friend request them and they'll be fine with that. And then they start to see, obviously they'll snoop my posts and see what I'm doing. And as long as you're having something there within 3 scrolls that says you can help them, they'll be fine. It's all good. Then they're going to start asking you about what you're doing and how it is that you're helping people, which is really key. So think about how you can help them. When you're having a conversation with them, think about how you can help them. And I don't mean health and fitness wise, because we obviously know how we can help them with that, right? We all know that answer. But how can you help them with any other part of their life? What else do you have in common with them? Maybe it's going to be a little bit of parenting advice or tips or something that you gave your kids, like containers for their meals. Maybe you have dogs, you can relate to them about that with new leashes or something like that. I don't know. Whatever it is you have in common with them, talk about that, right? Have that with them. So add value to their life, right? First, add value. Build a connection with them. That's going to take time. You have to be patient and do that. But remember that you're thinking probably right now, let's just say you're at SE0. There's so much time to hit Success Club, it's not even funny, right? You can do it in like a day. Look, you can, if you think about the amount of time it actually takes to sign somebody up, right? But we all know how much time actually goes into building trust with someone and the relationship. So you're thinking now, you're doing work now for like a month and 2 months out, always. So if you're at 0 now, don't get discouraged and think, well, there's no point to even do it now because I won't hit Success Club now. No, it's even more important to start now. Don't keep putting it off, because you're always going to be behind if you keep doing that. So take action now, right? So that's pretty much it. That's all I have. If you guys have any questions or anything.
If you guys have any questions, you can type them into the chat box. I have a couple of questions for you. The first one is tips for making friends in groups or expanding your network. So is that mainly what you use for expanding your network, is groups? Or are you doing like paid ads, free groups? Like, what is your most effective method of like expanding your network?
My most effective method is doing a free group. So often what I'll do is a clean eating group. When I started out last year with free groups, I did a lot of fitness ones, which were really effective as well. The ab challenge or whatever it was. So I did just a week of that. I did a full month, February, fanny, like booty workouts for the whole month. So it was a different workout each day, which was really quick, like 30-second video clips to put up kind of thing, which was really good as well. But really any free group, any way to get people to have the content, because everybody wants free. So I find it really difficult, like you said, how do you initially connect with people? Like, how do you get that initial people? Like, I think people will like me and connect with me, but how do I get them to know that, right? Like, how do you get them to actually get to know you and know if they're going to like or trust you? And that's what it is. So I will advertise a free group, usually for probably 3 or 4 days on my personal page. I'll try to use the same image sometimes. I can just repeat that so that people kind of recognize it. If they see it and they're like, oh yeah, I was going to click on that. So if I'll do an event and then they can click going or interested, and then I will post in the actual event, like just things to keep it alive, like a post every day kind of thing, just maybe a quote or something like that. And anybody who's interested or going will be added into a group. So then I'll actually create a separate group, right? But I'll wait and kind of fill up the event as like a holding place kind of a thing. There's times where I'll boost a post, but I find it better to boost a live video, way cheaper, like 2 cents per engagement, as opposed to boosting an event, which could be like $1 an engagement or whatever it could be, which is not what I want to spend. So I'll usually do that. I'll do a quick short live video, share it to my page, and then boost it from my Facebook page if I want to get out to more people and target different areas. But I generally find sharing it to my page and asking them to tag 2 friends really helps. So asking them to tag 2 people allows me then not to have a full free group of my friends, because no one wants to put up a free group with all that work and then have all your warm market who's probably already customers of yours, and you're like, great, I'm just running like 2 challenge groups now. So it's nice having them tag people, and then you have a reason to add them as a friend, because you have to add them as a friend to add them into this group, right? So it's a really good way to do that. And then start messaging them, thanking them for joining you. I'll explain a little bit about myself in a voice clip, just, hey, I'm Jen, your friend, tagged you, blah, 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 whatever. And then I'll just start posting in the group. So I find that the best thing. As for like interest groups and stuff like I talked about, I am in a few groups like that as well. And it's a slower rate of getting friends though, way slower, because they're complete strangers, even though you have friends, but they're from all over the place. And it takes a little more time. Like I'll consistently choose people that stand out to me as somebody I would get along with and try to comment on their post when they do that post. Or I'll tag them in a post in the interest group and I'll be like, don't you agree, LOL, or something like that, just to kind of give them like a little nudge that, hey, I remember me, like kind of thing, right?
That's awesome. And do you have a schedule for your posting, or do you kind of just like wing it? Like as it comes to you, you post, or do you have a schedule that you follow every day to get like your 3 to 5 posts done, or your live video every day?
Yeah, no, not for the 3 to 5 posts. I have a schedule for my monthly, like what week is what kind of a thing, like free group, coaching sneak peek, challenge group, coaching sneak peek. That's usually my general schedule. So I will, like I said, leading up to the free group, I'll be posting a lot about that. But as for my 3 to 5 posts a day, I like being a storyteller as opposed to having a structured thing, because I find it's more authentic that way. But if I'm working a 12-hour shift, then my posts aren't going to get as much engagement. They're going to be a little shittier because I'm posting to post. Like I have to schedule my posts to go up because I probably won't get a break the whole day kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. That's awesome. And my last question is, what is your favorite personal development book that you've read?
The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, for sure.
So good. I'm listening to one of his books right now. What the heck is it called? I'll have to let you know, but it's like even better than the 10X. It's so good. Oh, it's so good. Do you guys have any other questions? You can type it in the chat box. Everyone's always quiet. It's called Be Obsessed or Be Average. And it's by
like that. It already sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. It's like it's kind of like the 10X, but it's like more personal. I don't know. It's a super good book.
When someone tells me like you're not good enough, or you won't be able to do that, it's like fire for me.
Yeah.
Like prove that. So reading that book was like, do you want to be mediocre or do you want to be like extraordinary? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to be extraordinary. Like, duh. So then I'm like all motivated for the day, and it's awesome.
I love personal development so much.
Yeah, it's great.
That's awesome. When you first started as a coach, like what are some of the things that you use? Like what are some of the tools that you use to just like start to get over the fear of talking to people, like being vulnerable? Like there's so many new coaches that are like, yeah, but I'm still nervous. And you watch them and they just don't start, so what is like maybe something that you used, or what is the advice that you give to your coaches, just so that they start?
I will tell you exactly what I did. So my upline was, how can I say, she's not really working the business. So when I first signed up as a coach, I was like given like the materials, like here's a website and kind of their basic like weekend training, here you go kind of thing. So I had to really, take it by the horns and learn everything, right? Like YouTube everything, Google everything, just figure it out. And what I did, only because I was lost and I didn't really know what to be doing, is I started to look at our leaderboard and look at these people who were crushing it and be like, what are they doing? So then I started to go follow these people, right? Which I did recommend, I know, in the slides to do this. But then unfollow the people that you don't connect with and unfollow the people that aren't, you know, adding value to your life and your business. But that's what I initially did. So I started looking at all these other people, and I started to see how often they posted about their whys and their transformations and their stories. And then all of a sudden my news feed looked normal. Because before, I had no coaches on my newsfeed, and I was the only person who was like, am I actually going to post this vulnerable post right now? And all my friends are like going to the camper for the weekend, or like just normal status updates. And I'm like, this is weird. Like, I'm going to put 3 paragraphs. Like, what? No, I'm not putting this up here in this picture of myself, right? So that's what I started doing, was surrounding myself with like-minded people on my Facebook, which made me feel more comfortable posting that kind of a content or post on my Facebook. And that's what made me more comfortable. I still felt like I was going to puke the first like 2 months for sure. But I did it anyway because I wanted it so bad.
That's awesome. Alex said, after you built the relationship and know you can help them, what do you do to transition and not be a weirdo MLM person when you invite new friends to your challenge group? So, yeah.
The best thing to do after you build a relationship with them, well, you're going to know at that point probably what their struggles are and stuff like that. But if you build a relationship non-fitness related, it's a little more difficult, right? And that's maybe what you're asking is like, how do you go from, where'd you get that new, I was going to say DVD player, I feel so old school. Where'd you get your new cassette player to, do you want to join my health and fitness group? Like, it's not that transition, right? So what you need to do is actually start, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you need to start talking about like, start forming more with them, as in like, what do you do for occupation? What are you doing for work? And naturally, usually, they'll say, what are you up to? Or I see you're doing this now. If somebody ever asks you what you're doing now or how are things going, that's your opportunity. If you don't feel like that's an opportunity, then you don't have enough confidence yet to bring it up. But whenever someone asks me what I'm doing, like my nursing actually comes after my coaching now, where at first I was nervous and didn't want to say it. So I'd be like, oh, I'm a nurse and I do this little coaching thing on the side. Now I'm like, I'm a health and fitness coach and I change lives and blah, blah, blah. And I'm also a nurse. Like, it's having that confidence in it and being excited, like you're busting at the seams, ready to share it with them. And then when you bring it up and say, I'm actually doing this. Have you ever been in a group like this before? And they'd be like, nope, I have no idea what that group is or what it's about. And you can just explain to them, be like, a bunch of people, we have fun, we do this, we share, blah, blah, you know how it goes, right? But it is tricky to bridge the transition from something that's non-health and fitness related to health and fitness related without saying like, you look like you could lose a few pounds. You know, like, yeah, it's tough and it's a bit of a skill, but usually the occupation part is what will trigger that conversation. If they never bridge, you just have to leave it and just keep connecting with them on a non-Beachbody level until it does get to that point. Or they're going to see your posts on your Facebook page if you become friends and stuff. But sometimes you can't just push it. You can try, but oftentimes more than not, it pushes them away, right? So just let it organically come together. But every conversation, guys, is so different. Every situation is so different, right? So sometimes it'll be easy to bridge, sometimes it won't, and sometimes it may never bridge, ever. Until you maybe just put it out there and say, hey, I don't know if you're interested in this. Maybe you have already been asked to do this. Maybe you have zero interest whatsoever, but I just want to put my little feelies out there and see if you're interested in doing this. I totally get it if you're not interested, but I'm asking everybody on my friends list right now if they're interested in doing this. I don't know. Put out something that's very general and makes it feel like you're not targeting just them.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually
also found too, if you're running free groups that are in your market in some way or another. Like if you're really passionate about healthy eating and you're running a free healthy eating group, it's easy to invite people that are somewhat like you to a free group. So it's not just like, hey, you want to pay to join my challenge? But that's what I found, like with running, you know, like toddler food groups, because all of your mommy friends, you can be like, hey, you know, I have this group, or my body back after baby group. It's like easy for me to invite to free stuff to first, right? It makes a huge difference.
It really does. That's usually how my funnel goes, right? It's like I get them to first friend request, or I will talk to them in the ad messenger part first and see if they're interested. And if they are interested, then they usually go in my free group, then they go into my challenge group, and then into like the coach sneak peek, and then on the team kind of thing. So
yeah, that's awesome. Do you guys have any more questions? Anybody? Oh, can you read that?
yeah, in your free groups that aren't health related, how do you bring in the BB aspects smoothly? I only do health related ones. Actually, you know what? I did do one that was like a mindset only. That was actually one of my best groups that we did. Actually, we did like a 5 a.m. club group. But what it was exercise was one of the savers, if you've ever read The Miracle Morning. So it was really easy to incorporate exercise. And then I just smoothly brought in nutrition and how nutrition is just as important through the day, and go live in the group and just show what you're doing. So I show what I'm doing in like a little collage in all my groups anyways. So if nobody knows what Shakeology is, they see me with it in my hand in my little collage of what I did that day. And usually they'll ask what it is or how to make your smoothie or whatever it is like that. And then I'll usually message them and send them some information, explain to them what Shakeology actually is. I like sharing the Shay Stanford video that she did for what Shakeology is. I know it's a bit old school and it's just the text and the music and blah, 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 but it actually shows a lot of the health benefits from it pretty quickly. But maybe that's something that could be redone, who knows. So Cheryl feels like she drops the ball when it comes to the how much question. And I feel like I am not coming across clear enough what a challenge group is. Okay. So the how much question, do you tell them how much it is like monthly, or do you talk about like how much it is a day and let them do the math? And what a challenge group is. Yeah, you just need to kind of sit down and like write it out. Be like, look at it from like an outsider's experience, because I think we get really caught up in the terminology of Beachbody and we try to explain it in Beachbody terms. Like even a challenge group, even online support group, people still ask me, but what is it though? Like, what do you do in it? What's going to be expected of me? So take a bit of time to define that and have it defined. And that's something that you can copy and paste, because your answer is never going to change and it's going to be in your own words, right? So define what your challenge group is. And Cheryl, that could be different from what mine is too. Right? Maybe you guys do different things than what I do in my group and that kind of thing. So just kind of simplify the terminology and explain to them. You try not to tell them at first, but you can't seem to transition smooth into the cost. Are you talking about the value of Shakeology enough before you introduce the cost too? Because I feel like sometimes we go, yeah, this is what comes in the challenge pack, blah, blah, and this is how much it is. And it's like, whoa, it takes you back a little bit. But yeah, stressing what Shakeology is, how huge of a component it is in this whole situation, like how nutrition's huge. Ask them, oh, do I have those forms here? Just bear with me for 1 second. Ask them questions. Yes, I do have it. Perfect. There's a health questionnaire on the Team Beachbody website and like the training and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys knew that. And there's also Shakeology engagement questions apparently too, which is pretty cool. But listen for clues that people are talking about in your conversation. If they're saying like signs of poor health, they're sluggish, fatigue, bloating, digestive issues, if they have abnormal sleep patterns, if they have cravings, make sure you're tuning into those things so you can rephrase or paraphrase those things back to them when you're talking about the Shakeology, right? So if somebody doesn't struggle with not having energy, maybe they're very energetic, maybe they're pretty active people, then you're not going to say, oh, it's going to give you energy, right? You're going to actually say like, oh, it's going to help with those cravings that you have, and actually visit those things that they mention. Anticipate the objections that they might have as well. Like a potential negative mindset of like the diet cycle, right? Like they're just sick of starting a diet and then quitting, like yo-yo or flip-flop dieting and stuff like that too. So you can also bring that back in and say how that helped you. If it did help you stop from that flip-flop dieting. So it's just really, really actually listening to what the person's saying, picking out those key things that are a problem for them, and then explaining to them why that is. You don't need to talk about everything else, right? Don't talk about the other 10,000 million things that is amazing about Shakeology, because they're going to get overwhelmed, but focus on why this is good for them. Because all people care about is, what's it to me? How is this going to benefit me? And rightfully so. They're giving you money for something. They want to know what's in it for me. Like, why should I buy this, right?
I have one last question. You are incredible at Facebook Live. It's like your jam. It's a thing that you do. What are some tips that you have for someone who is nervous about starting to go live on Facebook? Do you have tips for it? And how do you talk about, how do you transition into this is my challenge group, or, funneling into free groups and stuff like that? Do you know what I mean?
So getting practice is huge. You have to talk to yourself a whole lot, which is really weird and awkward. But me and my coaches have like a Facebook group. We call it Facebook Live Practice Zone. And we just go live in there. Usually nobody even pops in to watch everybody, because we know it's going to be like this shitty live video. But we're all in there practicing, and our cameras are sideways or whatever. Lighting is bad. But it's just a practice zone. And we go in there and then delete it after, and it's totally fine. But the more you do it, the better. If you really want to adjust to it, you can go live, but have your setting on private, like only me, and just get used to going live. And then you can make it public after. If you're worried about people's names popping up and freaking you out, and comments and stuff like that coming up and stressing you out, which a lot of people find that anxious, right? Causes anxiety. So turn it off, put it on only me, and then go ahead, post it, and change your privacy after, which is easy to do too. And then the other thing you said was how to bring it up in like a live video talking about it, and how, again, it depends on the live video, because I do a lot of different types of ones, and sometimes I don't mention it at all. Usually, like what I've been doing kind of lately is a bit more like themes. So I'll usually do something motivational on Monday. I'll do like a taste test Tuesday, try something new to eat, short little quick 5-minute video. Watch me Wednesday, I'll go live with a workout, or take them somewhere with me if I'm going out and about. Fridays, I'll do like Friday favorites. It could be like makeup related, it could be clothing, could be Shakeology recipe. Like every now and then, obviously, I'm going to throw in my own products or something that's, beneficial to the business. But it's all beneficial to the business. Like even showing people that I love like Lip Sense, which is another marketing company, but it shows me that I trust and respect people who are selling a product from an MLM, which kind of lets people know that they should trust me, because I'm also someone who's a product of the product. Like, so it still kind of works into what I want to put out there, right? And build relationships that way. But bridging into challenge group, it just depends on the conversation. Like I don't really have an answer for like a structured way. That's all I got.
I was like talking, and then I realized that I was muted.
Oh, I was like, sorry, it was a bad answer.
That's awesome. That's what I said. Oh my God. That's wicked. That's super smart. So, how much time do we have? Okay, we're like way going over time. But my last question I ask a lot of the coaches is what does your day look like? What does a day look like for you for working the business? Do you run by a schedule?
I go through phases. So month to month could be different, but it always starts Monday to Friday, 5 a.m. I wake up. First thing I do is come into the kitchen, get a drink of water, or a cup of tea or whatever, and then I'll do personal development. So I'll listen to an Audible or a podcast, first things first, before I check my phone or anything. Then around 5:30, I'll take my pre-workout. I'll go do my workout. So again, I focus on me 100%, because I truly believe that you cannot pour from an empty cup, like that whole analogy, right? So I'll get my workout done first thing in the morning. It wakes me up, gets me focused. Then I'll shower, get ready, have breakfast, blah, blah. Work in the business, then I come in. First thing I do then is check online office, see if there's any updates, Success Club points, check if the elite is changed, the points for that, any emails, just whatever I need to do in back office, and the news and stuff like that. Even though I have emails, I'll check it. Thursdays are the only different day. On Thursdays, I have a, and this might be a little premature, but whatever. I'm like that. So I have a tracker for the business. Every Thursday, I will track, like on a sheet, what personal development I'm working on that week, my own personal workouts, how many I got, how many Beachbody customers I have, how many PS coaches I have, how many downline coaches I have, how many Facebook friends I have, what my SC points are, how many coaches I have with at least one Success Club point, like from your leadership ladder. I'll write that in there. My volume on my left and right leg, the number of coaches on my left and right leg. And again, guys, when I did this, a lot of times it was 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. But it was getting myself into these habits, because if you don't visualize it and you don't actually start taking action toward it, you're not going to get there. It's not going to happen. So I thought, okay, screw it. I'll just keep writing down zeros, but every Thursday I'll get into this habit, and then it changed. How many coaches I added to the team. I like having that one there because it reminds me 0, 0, 0. Okay, I need to start adding coaches to my team here, right? Like I have these goals to hit this many, and my total income I write in. The income I accrued from Team Cycle bonus to kind of make sure that's growing, and how much income I got from matching bonus, and then the number of business likes I have on my page. So that's what I do Thursday. It's the only different day. But as for the rest of my day, say Monday to Friday through that, the mornings are usually watching YouTube videos, trainings, or doing some kind of presentation for whether this kind of team call or my own team call or something like that. It's very leadership focused at this point, as opposed to when I first started it, my first year, it was like a lot of conversations and inviting. But it's changed a lot more now because I feel like I'm attracting a little easier, whereas I had to seek out a lot more at the beginning, right? So yeah, working a lot more with that with my coaches, making sure they're supported. I go live in my team page, usually every day or every other day, to make sure they're motivated. I do short goals with my team for Success Club points. I find that works really, really well to be like, okay, guys, we're pushing for SC2. The first 5 days of the month, let's hit SC2, all of us. And then we'll all push, and then we'll all comment below the same post like a thread and make sure we're pushing each other and cheering each other on. But as for inviting and stuff, I don't have business hours set for that because I am working from home. So I have the flexibility. I feel like if I had a Monday to Friday, like 9 to 5 job, I would have to schedule power hours and stuff like that. But I don't do power hours just because of the way my day is, right? But it fits in there somehow.
That's awesome. That's really smart. I really like how you track everything. That's really, really smart.
I think tracking is huge because even if you're not doing anything, you're seeing that you're not doing anything, whereas it's easy to turn a blind eye to it. So every day I wake up and I mentally prepare, like, this is the last week of the month. The first week of the month is always the last week of the month mentality when I start. Because I love starting out with some points on that board. Like, it just gets me fired up and started. So
that's awesome. Do you guys have any other questions? I'm going to assume no, because that's a lot of time to not ask. Okay, so I'm going to close out the call, but thank you so much for everything. I really, really appreciate it. I love the tone of this call because I feel like we are so overtrained and don't talk enough about, you have to be vulnerable. You have to talk about those things. Otherwise, people are just going to scroll right over top of what you have to say because it doesn't matter. Like, it's noise on social media, right? And so I appreciate that. And I do absolutely love watching you on social media and watching you grow this business. And it was a total pleasure having you on here tonight. And I took a ton of notes. So I appreciate you so much. And congratulations on all your success. And I will see you at Summit.
Yes.
It's coming up quick.
Okay. Oh gosh, whatever.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Have a good night, you guys.